Hi everybody. Today we are going to look at a fact box on the LocalGov Drupal distribution. So at the moment we're redeveloping this distribution's front end. So we're creating a new theme to try to make it fit more in line with Drupal coding standards and make it more easy to extend and more sustainable for the future. So the section we're going to look at today is down here near the bottom of this page, which is well, we've got two fact paragraph types. One is called key fact. So these are key facts, fact number 1 and fact number 2. But below this, we've got this here where you can see where it says the text which appears above the fact itself, text which appears below the fact, and then this is actually a second fact here. So how this currently looks on using our default LocalGov theme is like this here. So here's the text which appears above the fact itself, and the text which appears below the fact, and then it's got a background in purple. And within the back end you can choose two different color schemes. One is called blue to red, fade blue to red it's called, I think, yeah, here, and the other is called light. Now I much prefer the name light and maybe dark for this one here rather than red to blue, because we can't assume that every council or every website that ever uses this module is going to want a red to blue look and feel. So if it's just called dark and light, or called scheme 1, scheme 2, scheme 3, then each council will have that CSS coded up into whatever suits their brand guidelines. So let's have a quick look, I guess, if we edit the page just to see how it currently looks. So we've got our page builder here, and down near the bottom of this we've got these two fact boxes. So these fact boxes are it's not a nested paragraph type. If we look at the key facts item here, this is a nested paragraph. So we've got the container paragraph here, which has a title, choose your heading level 2, and then it's got two key facts inside it. With the where am I going now? Down here, I think. Yeah, with the fact box, it's just a paragraph type on its own. So you get choose your background, fact box light. I think we should add in a fact box dark as well, and we put in red to blue today just so that it continues to work for any sites that currently use it. But I think we should add in fact box light and dark then as our actual options, or light, dark, and accent, something like that. So above text, this is the text that goes above the fact box, then the fact itself, and then the below text, or the text that goes below it. So it looks fairly simple. Let's see what we've got for these templates. Excuse me. So VS Code, and the code for this will be in, let's have a quick look, I'm guessing subsites paragraphs module. So we've got a fact box class here coming from modules contrib LocalGov subsites modules LocalGov subsites paragraphs templates paragraph LocalGov factbox.html.twig. Okay, so let's get this file for ourselves. Command P for our quick finder, and here we go inside LocalGov subsites. This is the one we want. Okay, so we'll just grab this from here and we'll place this in our LocalGov_base templates / paragraphs. Alright, let's just mark Conroy and a H2 just to clear the cache and make sure that this template is picked up by the Drupal system. Okay, so above each of these we see Marky Conroy, so that means we're now no longer using the template that comes with the module. We're using the template that's inside our theme instead. So let's get rid of this. Now, first things first, I think here we need to make sure that as much as possible, we use what Drupal gives us, and we follow the patterns from Drupal, just in case some team is using a default paragraph template and they're using that paragraph dash fact box or whatever for their class. So let's come to a paragraph.html.twig file here, and we're going to copy. So I'm going to copy the full paragraph template. So at minimum, we'll have what Drupal gives us in a paragraph template, and then we can add in the extra bits that we want ourselves. So let's see, what do we want to add in? Let's maybe just comment out all of this for a second. I just want to see what, if we didn't use any template for this, what Drupal would give us out of the box. Would it look any different? I'm going to guess it'll look no different than this, but yeah, it doesn't. So we've got our, we get the background, some labeled things. Fact box light, that's the background label and value. So we could probably hide those on the manage display page, because we don't need to have those inside the on the template itself. We don't need to render those. So let's see what we're going to get. So we said here there's a class called factbox dash paragraph field get value background. Okay, so let's, that class there, let's put this back in up here. Okay, and we'll refresh the page. Let's see what we get. An array element must be followed by a comma. Okay, so let's put a comma here. And then the classes we get for this now include factbox hyphen. I guess we're supposed to get field background get value 0 dot value. We didn't get it. Let's have a look at oh, this name has changed, hasn't it? This should be LocalGov underscore background, I think it's called now, because we had a migration to change things from field underscore to LocalGov underscore, just to not have any namespace clashes with anyone who may have already have created a field with that name on it. So let's see now, do we have that for a class? Yeah, factbox light. Okay, now, so I'm going to say that we should have a class called factbox. Called factbox here. So this is our block class. If it's going to use a light background, it's going to be a modifier. So it's going to be factbox. Let's grab that here. Factbox dash dash. So not a single dash like we have here, a double one. So to say that this is modifying what this is, and it's going to modify it with background color or something like that. So factbox dash dash, and then we can put in this here, so a tilde like that. And let's refresh the page again. And now we've got okay, here, yeah, so we got a factbox, then a factbox dash dash fade red blue. Okay, that looks a bit better. I might change this slightly, because this presupposes that there will be a value and there may not be a value, and if there is no value, then we don't have a factbox dash dash with no extra modifier class. So at minimum we probably should do something like this. So now we're saying that if paragraph localgov background dot get value whatever else is there, then put in this here. But I'm going to actually change this very slightly. I'm going to say if paragraph dot localgov background dot value. Now it's a single value field, so we don't need the 0 here, because it's not going to be 0, 1, 2 or whatever. There's only going to be one value in it, so this will return it fine for us. So if that has a value, then we're going to set factbox bg, so factbox background as this value. Okay, and then here we can say fact box bg, and pop this here. Now that's much simpler, I think, to understand. So we're saying if there's a value in the background field, then we'll set a variable called factbox.bg, and so we're going to put that here. I'm also going to put a second one here called factbox has bg. So what we can do with this class here then is say that we don't care what the background of it is, just we care about the fact that it has a background, and if it has a background, we might add extra padding or whatever so that the text moves in a small bit, and then the specific background itself class then will decide that, oh yeah, okay, if it's a light background we put in this color, and if it's a dark background we put in whatever other color. So let's refresh this again just to check our classes. Okay, this is nice now. So now we got classes for factbox, factbox has bg, factbox fade red blue, and I'm guessing we'll get a factbox light then for this. Factbox, okay, it's called factbox light. That's okay. Well, I'll leave that at that. Sometimes I like to preface these with something like a LGD factbox, just so we don't clash with. No, it's probably okay in this case. Excuse me. Okay, so now we've got three fields that we need to show. So one is the actually, let me get rid of this down here. That bit has been taken care of. Actually, just looking even at the rest of this HTML here. So we've got these inside a p tag, and then I wonder, should these be p tags or should these be divs? If these are divs, we'll render a div, but the field itself, what does the field render at? Does that render at a paragraph tag first? I think it's not going to actually. No. I guess this should be p tags. So if they're plus we're using just simple text field, but we're not using WYSIWYG, so it's not going to actually automatically add p first. I want the p's in here for semantics because it is text. I'm just wondering if this LocalGov fact itself, if we ever had a second field, that's not going to render here at all because we're not rendering content. So I guess we can render content without, and then we list the different fields that are here. Yeah, and we can pop this in a div here like this, and we can put this in a p tag here like so, and we'll move this div down here again. So the fact itself will be in a p tag. The content will get rendered if, for whatever reason, an extra field ever gets added by any specific council, and then the rest of the facts will render it themselves. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like this. I like this. So then we're going to say, so this renders the paragraph itself, then the block content renders whatever's in content. Okay, I'm going to pop all of our stuff in here for a second. Now, this div class equals factbox. We've taken care of that. Level height item. I have no idea what that is. I'm guessing it's a bootstrap hangover class, so we can remove that. And now we need to move everything here back one level. Okay, so fact opening. I don't like this. This is a block level class here. So, but this opening is actually an element of the fact box block itself. So let's call this fact box underscore underscore opening, fact box fact, and fact box closing. Okay, that looks nice, I think. Let's just make it a little bit easier to read the code. Yeah, I like that now. Okay, so we'll have a little look at how it gets rendered here now. Okay, so this is starting to break up a little bit now. Oh, actually we've got it in twice, do we? We don't. Let's oh, it's because we're rendering all the content, isn't it? Yeah, so we need to render content without above text, without the fact, and without the below text. Okay, so put that in a quote, and the next one in a quote, and the last one in a quote. And refresh. So now we have what? The fact box, which is light, the fact itself, the text that comes after it, and the text comes below. Why that's showing up a few times? Let's see. LocalGov above text. Let's put in a little mark here for ourselves. Above, and then in here, fact, and here below. This is a debugging for HTML rather than PHP or something. I love this mark element. Highlights the item, you know, that's not supposed to be highlighted necessarily from the original author, so it's good to let us see where things should be. So above is working fine. Then we get the fact itself, which also renders the background, and that's fine. We'll exclude that now in a moment. And then below is rendering the text which appears below. But then we seem to be getting the full fact again. Am I missing something? Ah, look. We left all this in. Let's comment this back out again. Okay. So now we've got the above the fact, then the background, then below the fact. So that all looks fine. Let's just get the name of the field for the background, so we don't, actually we know it already, don't we? LocalGov background, so we don't end up displaying it here. All right, let's check this out. Oh, I'm going back to the home page. Cool, it's working. Let's take out our marks. Oh, Shell's here. Hey, Offer, how are you? Let's see. Hi to you. Let's see then. We've got to, what's up next? We are printing here the LocalGov above text field, whether there's anything in it or not. So I've got a feeling if I edit this page and then I take out that content. So the above text, this is the text that appears above the fact. Let's remove this, save it, and I've got a feeling we're going to get an empty div. So this is the red to blue one. That's this one here, I think. and we've got the fact box fact. There we go. Not an empty div, we've got an empty paragraph tag. Okay, we don't want that. So what we need to do is make sure that we've got some if statements around things. So we're going to say if paragraph dot LocalGov above text dot value. So if there's anything in that field, then go ahead and render it. And we'll do the same with I guess the fact box is always going to have a fact, isn't it? And then we render this stuff after, so we can probably presume that this should always render. I don't want to do a check for if this has something in it. Only then render this part here in case this is empty, but there's a new field added by another council for whatever reason, so content should have rendered, even though this one here wouldn't. So I'm going to put no if statement around this, and I'll put an if statement around paragraph dot LocalGov below text dot value. So if there's something inside that, we print that. Now our empty p tag here should disappear, and this is on top of this one. Ooh. Oh no, that's right. Fact box fact. Yep. And then the fact box closing. And then we've got this here for below text. Why is this all doing that? Okay, so the fact box opening here. Let's see the fact box. Well, let's get the opening on this one. Ah, the same thing is happening. Look, we got fact box underscore opening, and then the Drupal field renders the field template, which has got a div, and that comes outside of the paragraph tag. So we're always getting an empty paragraph tag and then the actual div itself. So let's not render content. Let's render the actual value of the field. That looks like it's done something, because now we've got some CSS kicking in. So we've got the LocalGov subsites paragraphs.css. It says text align center. So that fact box p. I mean, we probably don't even need fact box p for that. But the fact box itself could use that. Okay, so let's see what's in this CSS. Hopefully very little. That fact box with 100% text align center. That's all we've got. Okay, because I was going to disable the this library, but I won't bother now because I can see it's actually also doing things for callout box and layout tree calls and things like that. Ooh. I think we'll be coming back to visit this, so I'm not sure we want that in here. We might do another screencast on our layout grid and how that can work with layout builder classes like these items here. Okay, so I mean, in short, we just don't need to disable that module, but we do need to add a library and start adding some CSS. I think we're ready to add the CSS now. So let's see. We're going to say if LocalGov base use CSS, then libraries attached LocalGov base fact box. Okay, this if statement here is one that I've created a theme setting to switch on and off CSS. So if you've got a sub theme and you don't want to use our CSS, you can switch that off by just turning it off on the theme setting. So we can see that here at appearance settings. Whoopsies. Down here, add CSS from the theme or add JS from the theme. So if we switch that off, it won't use our CSS, but you can still benefit from our templates. So that's one handy little check there. Now we need to create a library called Fact Box. Okay, so let's copy box links here and call this Fact Box. And then we need to create a CSS file here called factbox.css. Factbox. We said text align center. Now let's give it a background color of red just to make sure that this kicks in when we clear the cache. Two viewers, I wonder who they are, Offer and someone else. Okay, cache cleared down to the bottom and we got nothing. Style sheet could not be loaded. Factbox i11.css. Okay, that's because we don't have one. I'll create that later on when, yeah, get rid of the error, I suppose. I was going to say I'll create it later on when I actually need it, but i11. Okay, and Factbox CSS here. Yeah, just leave it like that. Okay, why don't we have stuff that we want? Here's the fact itself. Let's fact box. LocalGov base factbox factbox.css. LocalGov factbox. LocalGov underscore base / factbox. It should be there. Clear the cache again. Style sheet could not be loaded. Let's see what the errors are in the console. Factbox i11. Not found. LocalGov base CSS component / factbox.css. Blocked due to MIME type mismatch. Oh, I've had this before and I can't remember what I did. Was it just that the file didn't exist in the first place? Factbox.css, factbox.i11.css. Factbox.i11.css looks good. Oh, it's right. It went into the CSS directory, not into the component directory in the CSS directory. Okay. So that wasn't too hard. So blocked because of the MIME type, which is a bit of a false positive. It's actually because the CSS file didn't exist itself. So let's refresh here. And yippee, we got some red backgrounds. Okay. Now let's see, let's get cracking on a bit of CSS. So let's say Factbox itself is going to have text align center. Okay, let's say we're all agreed on that. The same as here. And then let's go with factbox -- it's called factbox light, I think. Background color, we'll go with honeydew just to make sure it works. Okay, kind of a little bit of light green here. And let's change this then to a variable called -- factbox light factbox bg light. and in our variables then we're going to fact box variables here, we call that dash oops, fact box bg light will be var color gray light. This Emmet helper can be a little bit too helpful sometimes, adding in extra things here. So if that's got color gray light, that's not working. Ooh. Fact box bg light, is that what I called it? Fact box bg light. Okay, sometimes I need to clear up cache when I add a new variable for CSS for some reason. Alright, so that's great, and when it doesn't have a BG it stays like that. So then let's say that fact box has BG. We'll give it padding var called fact box padding vertical and var fact box padding horizontal. Okay, the reason I'm calling these names like this means because a subteam wants to change what this is, it'll be able to just change this one variable. So what we'll do is we take these variables here and we give them specific sizes that are, say, like var dash dash spacing. So that'll be 1 rem. But you might want to change what spacing equals, but you might also want to keep this to be the same, or you might want to keep what spacing equals but change this one here on a subteam. So this gives us that benefit. So all our actual variables are here at the top. Spacing small is smaller small, our default spacing, then spacing large larger largest. So they can change per site, or we can just override items like this here. So I'm going to say spacing large, and spacing large will give us 1.5 REMs for our padding. So if it has a background, it gets that kind of padding. Now the top looks like it could do with a small bit more padding than the bottom. So let's say what vertical will be large, or sorry, I mean more than the sides, large. Let's go with largest for now. Okay, and then I think for the fact box here, for the bottom one, then we could say calc a var of fact box vertical minus var of spacing, because we're getting the extra 1 rem from the extra rem from the here, from the margin at the bottom of the paragraph. It's actually, it's a line height that's getting, isn't it? So it's not spacing, it's vertical rhythm spacing, which would be 1.5. So that should even up. Yes, now we got the same amount at the top as we have on the bottom. Then we are going to say, and this might be a little bit easier to read if we place them here like this. Maybe not. I think I'll leave it anyway. So we get a fact box opening, and we got a fact box closing classes, and the font size for those I'm going to say will be var dash dash fact box. I'm going to say fact box title might do. Okay, and we'll come back to our variables, and we're going to say here that fact box title will equal var dash dash font. Let's say with font size large. Why does that keep doing it? And font size large will equate to here 1.3125, and that's the same size as a H3. So our font size medium is 1 rem, that's our paragraph size, and then H3, H2, and H1. So we're going to say that H3 would be our size for the titles, and I might say fact box fact can be dash dash larger. So that would get a H2 size. No, that won't do anything just yet. Let's refresh this. Okay, that gets so H3 size here, but this one here hasn't worked out. What's wrong with that? Fact box underscore closing. Okay, looks good. And fact box closing. Right. Very good. And then the fact box fact can have a font size. Let's copy this. Of fact box fact. Yeah, looking good. Might make that a bit bigger. Might make that fact box fact be a H1 size. I'm going to leave that for now, I think. How about we put a border around it? I know we're going away from this design a bit, but that's might be okay. We'll put a small border around our fact, so we can say that the fact box itself will have a border of var dash dash fact box border, and the fact box border can use what? I might go with var called border large. Let's see what that does. Okay, so I'll put the large border around it, but the color of it is the same color as the light background. So let's set the border color var fact box border color. And the fact box border color can be, oops, what did I do? Fact box border color can be color gray. We go with medium or dark medium, I guess. Okay, and it looks like a fact box then probably should have a margin bottom of var vertical rhythm spacing. Nice. Now, if the fact box is fading red to blue, so we don't break current sites, that fact box fade red to blue, I guess there's going to be a linear, what's a background image linear gradient, red to blue. Jeepers, this seems dangerous. Okay, red to blue, and some sort of a color var dash dash color white. It's ugly, but it works. I'm not sure exactly what red to blue should be there, or what type of red or that. Do you know what I'll do actually is I'm going to set these as variables. Var dash dash fact box red and var fact box blue. Does that work? And in here we'll say fact box red and blue will be red and blue. So whatever councils are using red and blue, and I'm not sure if any are, but if they are, if they want to in the future, they can set fact box red to whatever color they want it to be, and fact box blue to be whatever color they want it to be, and that should still work. All right. I think that's it for the fact box. Yeah. But we need to put in a dark one as well, just in case we add that in the future. So fact box light is like that. That's a fact box dark, fact box BG dark, and fact box BG light is color gray light, fact box BG dark will be color gray dark. And if we got fact box dark, then we would probably want our color to be color white. Now let's see what will happen if we do that. Ah, that's not right. Fact box dark. Oh, dark. Okay. Now if we add a class here from fact box light to fact box dark, what do we get? Well, it looks nice. Cool, that works. Okay, so we can add another option in, so now we can have color dark or light. You know, I'm going to add in another one for accent as well, so we can have that purple color, and this, and other sites can have their color. We're being very generous. So fact box accent var background color color accent, and then the color will be var fact box text color accent, because we can't be sure that the accent will always be a dark color. So this is going to be accent, and this will be color accent, and then fact box text color accent in this case will be color white. Let's color white and refresh. And if this happened to have a class of accent, so we added one in the future, we got purple and white. Okay, and if it doesn't have a background, we should remove the padding. Fact box doesn't have a background, we don't have the padding. Happy with that. Okay, so now we need to, let's see, we need to get this to work on IE 11. So this all looks good. It's going to work on every browser. Everyone's going to be happy. It's very simple to extend it and it's scalable, but IE 11 is being its usual self. So let's say here, and how we override this from this to our modern browser, that we call the IE 11 CSS file first, and after that we call this one here, and then hopefully in the next year or so we can just get all these i11 files and we can remove them. Featured subsite doesn't have a standard file. Did I not need? Okay, I'll check that later on. Don't go down the rabbit hole. So fact box margin bottom then was going to be 1.5 REMs. The border was the large border is 5 pixels solid, and the color of it is the dark gray. So that's colors gray. Oh, sorry, it's medium gray. Color gray medium. I like this. We've got a white, we've got a black, and we've got only 3 grays. So that goes here. The border color we don't need anymore because that's at the top of the text align. Center, i11 can read that, so we don't need to put that there. The padding then we said was 2 REMs. Was it padding vertical was 2 REMs, I think. Spacing largest, which is 2.5 REMs. Where is it here? That's 2.5 REM and 2.5 REM, and then 1 REM on the bottom, which is 2.5 minus 1.5. Okay. Semicolon. The background color for the light was the light gray, which was this one here. The background color for the dark was the dark gray, which is the BII one, and the color here was white. And color accent is our purple color, this one. And if we're using accent, we said it was going to have a white text here. And then the red to blue, this will be white, and in i11 we will go from background image linear gradient red to blue. The font size here was 1.3 something, 1.3125 REMs, and this one is going to be, okay, do these at the same time. Where was I? Font size here and font size here for these two REM. Okay, that's going to look identical in IE11 as it does in all modern browsers, and then we can remove this when we stop supporting IE11 soon enough. Now let's have a quick look again through the. We're happy with all of this CSS, I think. Yeah, and then the variables I guess are fine. Yeah, i11 then looking good. I can test that later on. The libraries for the fact box worked eventually. This is the original module template file, so I don't need that. And then yeah, I think I'm happy with all of this. So if there's something in this, we print that, print this, print the content. Oh, let's not leave commented out code in our template. That looks good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to get a PR created for this against the, or for the new team, and that's us done. Is there any questions? No. And we've only one viewer. I'm guessing that's Offer. Nice to be going viral. Hello, Offer. That's it. I'm out of here. Thank you, everybody. I will chat to you soon. Goodbye.